Can you scrape public data for AI training legally? Imagine trying to gather information from the internet to teach a computer to understand language or recognize images. But before you start copying data, you need to ask if it's legal. Scraping public data sounds simple, but the rules can be tricky. The main thing to remember is that just because data is on the internet does not mean it is free to use. If the data includes personal information, privacy laws like the General Data Protection Regulation in the European Union come into play. These laws say you must have a legal reason to process personal data, like consent or a legitimate interest. If you scrape data that contains personal details without permission, you could face fines or legal action. When it comes to copyrighted material, scraping can also cause issues. Copyright laws protect original works like articles, images, or videos. Using such data without permission might infringe on those rights, especially if you plan to use it for commercial purposes like training an AI model. Some countries have fair use exceptions, but they are limited and often do not cover large-scale data collection for commercial AI training. Database rights are another concern. In the European Union, certain databases are protected by specific rights. If you scrape a substantial part of a protected database without authorization, you could be violating those rights. It's also important to consider the data lifecycle. Once you collect data, you need to manage it responsibly. This means storing it securely, only keeping it as long as necessary, and deleting it when you no longer need it. To stay within legal boundaries, companies should identify what data they are scraping and why. They should avoid collecting personal data unless they have a clear legal basis. Using tools that help filter out personal information can be helpful. Also, always check the terms of service of the websites you scrape from. Many sites prohibit automated data collection. In summary, scraping public data for AI training is not automatically legal. It depends on the type of data, how it is used, and the laws of the country involved. Being aware of privacy laws, copyright rules, and data management practices is essential. Following these guidelines helps ensure that your data collection efforts are both ethical and lawful.